Fernando Meirelles is a director of ups and downs. 3 of his films had Academy Award nominations. Others were poorly received at Cannes. It would be just another project by the filmmaker if it weren't for one detail. It is Meirelles' first 100% Brazilian work since his iconic City of God released 22 years ago. The theme is controversial. It's about the Brazilian animal lottery, but in a dystopian Rio de Janeiro. With a stellar cast and production by Amazon, Animal Race has everything to relive the glory days of Brazilian cinema. Even more so with the hype that I'm Still Here is causing around the world. Something similar could happen with The Secret Agent, Kleber Mendonça Filho's newest work since his Bacurau. Bringing Wagner Moura in front of the camera at the best moment of his career, The Secret Agent will certainly do well in Brazil and around the world. It's surprising, but James Cameron only has 2 films of his in 24 years of the 21st century, both from the same franchise. In fact, about to release his 3rd film, it is safe to say that Cameron revolutionized cinema in 2009 with 3D in the first Avatar. 13 years later, he finally released Avatar: The Way of Water and brought more advanced and impressive water effects, for example. 3 years later, I am curious to know what is so different he can bring in such a short time. This time in Avatar: Fire and Ash, remembering that Cameron plans to release at least 2 more Blue Giants films. The work of a lifetime, without a doubt. A critical success abroad, the unlikely feature-length documentary, set within the chaotic world of the game Grand Theft Auto Online, follows 2 unemployed actors during the pandemic lockdown in 2021 who try to represent Hamlet entirely within the world of the famous game from Rockstar Games. Grand Theft Hamlet is one of my most anticipated films because of its boldness. Ari Aster disappointed a lot of people in 2023 with Beau is Afraid. Okay, he made it very clear that he wouldn't return to horror, but the film with Joaquin Phoenix is quite tiring and confusing. It didn't win me over. Still, the balance of the talented filmmaker remains positive, at least for me. Hereditary and Midsommar still remain 2 of the most disturbing films of the past decade. His newest partnership with A24 will be Eddington, described as a darkly comedic Western set during the pandemic. I don't know what to really expect from this film, but I'm definitely in. Filmmaker Joseph Kosinski has a stable career. With a few films like Oblivion and Tron Legacy, Joseph discovered his true calling in his second partnership with Tom Cruise in Top Gun: Maverick. Okay, not just any movie. It's the sequel of a classic. 3 years and several billion later, all the spotlight is on Kosinski's next project. Ambitious, by the way. Now he will try to prove himself on the racetracks with even more sophisticated cameras that promise to cause even more extreme adrenaline than those already caused in his previous blockbuster. This time, led by star Brad Pitt, F1 has everything it needs to repeat the phenomenon that Top Gun: Maverick was in 2022. The team behind this film alone is cause for excitement. South Park co-creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone team up with rapper Kendrick Lamar in this comedy. The Paramount CEO said in an interview with CinemaCon that the film's script is one of the funniest and most original he has ever read. The plot depicts past and present colliding when a young black man who works reenacting slavery at a living history museum discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors owned his own ancestors. Taking into account the synopsis and the history of controversy between the duo Parker and Stone, the film has everything to give something to talk about in 2025. If there is anyone who needs and can make a faithful adaptation of Frankenstein, it is Guillermo del Toro. His talent for tragic monster stories is nothing new and has always been admirable, but he did it with original works. Now bringing such an iconic character to life in the hands of a filmmaker like del Toro certainly arouses a lot of curiosity. I can't wait. Ever since they made a huge impression at Sundance with their debut film Talk to Me, brothers Danny and Michael Philippou were on my radar immediately. The horror of 2023 did not revolutionize cinema, but it certainly revealed the unique talent of YouTubers behind the cameras that is so rare nowadays, especially in horror. His new film Bring Her Back remains under lock and key, but will certainly be one of the highlights of the year when marketing work begins. Zach Cregger certainly didn't innovate horror, far from it, but he was definitely an outlier in his debut with Barbarian. For this reason, the director's next feature, logically, is already being highly hyped. And it's no wonder. Previously expected to debut only in 2026, Weapons has now become a priority for Warner, as test screenings were great for the film and the studio believes it has a great title on its hands. The horror is promised to be an ambitious film due to its script, which received advanced praise from its protagonist Josh Brolin, known for being demanding when choosing his projects. The actor admitted that he was convinced to be in Weapons after reading the script. "I'm serious when I say I think it's brilliant script design. Brilliant," stated the actor. Wow.